Hi, thanks for clicking on this video. And here I'm going to talk about how you can get authentic IELTS practice tests. If you've seen any videos from IELTS Breakthrough, you will know that we recommend using and doing practice from authentic IELTS practice tests before you actually take the real one. By doing these tests, then it's going to give you a much better chance of increasing your score because you are already kind of match fit, so to speak. The problem is that if you go on the internet, of course you're going to find lots of free IELTS practice tests, but they come with problems. In fact, I'd like to suggest 4 problems with just using the free practice tests that you find on the internet. The first thing is that the test might simply be too easy. If it is too easy, it's going to give you false feedback on the kind of score you might get in the real test. Likewise, the free test could be too difficult, and in that case you're again going to get false feedback, but this time you'll be disappointed because you might get lower scores than you can expect on the real test. Another problem is the authenticity of the questions. The questions might not be in the correct format or the correct question type that is really used by IELTS. What's more, even if they are in the correct format, the quality of the questions might not be very good. That is because with the free tests, they haven't been evaluated in any way. Of course, if you take an authentic IELTS test, all of the reading, the listening questions have been evaluated and reviewed to make sure that they really do the job they were intended to. And then the last problem with free tests is the topics. Maybe the topics are inaccurate. They could be too specific or too technical, for example. Remember that the IELTS test is taken by all sorts of people, so the topics have to be chosen carefully so that they do not discriminate against people with certain areas of expertise. So, given these problems, what is the solution? Well, there is a solution, and it is free. Did you know that you can get free sample tests by going to the IELTS official website? And this is what I'm going to show you here now. Stay with me then, and let's go onto the computer, into the internet, and I'll show you exactly how you can get access to these free sample tests from IELTS Breakthrough. Not from IELTS Breakthrough, from IELTS.org. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to go to IELTS.org. That's www.IELTS.org. And you can see you get to the home screen. At time of recording, the home screen looks like this. And then click on where it says test takers like this, and the drop down menu will come down. Just be careful, be gentle, 1 click is enough. And then go along to the 3rd column there. It says preparation resources, and underneath you'll see sample test questions. Just click on that, and you get to this page of IELTS sample test questions. Now, scroll down a little, and just below the fold you'll see that there's the title, Free Practice Papers and Resources to Help You Succeed. Now notice you have 3 different photographs here, and each photograph represents one type of IELTS test. So you've got the academic version at the first picture. In the middle we have general training, and then on the right is the life skills sample test materials. Let's start with the sample test questions for IELTS Academic version. You can just click on the picture or the title, and this will take you to the IELTS Academic Test sample test questions. Once again, scroll down to this point where you see the title of Paper Sample Tests. Now, it's important to note that for each section of IELTS, there is a different tab. You can see it is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. If you hover your mouse over the tab, it will go red. Scroll down a bit further and you can see that we've got some free listening samples that you can download. Obviously it's all in hypertext in blue. That's the downloadable information that you can get. It even tells you how many pages the PDF document is. Remember, if you want to get more than listening, you need to go up a little bit and click on a new tab to get materials for the writing, the reading, and so on. Scroll down a bit more and you also have some sample tests for the computer format. Here they're giving us the listening, the reading and writing sample materials. So let's have a look at that. And you can see once again we have the hyperlinks for these are the listening sample tasks that you can download. Okay, so that's a quick look at the academic version of IELTS. Let's have a look at the general training sample materials. Now, to get there quicker, you don't have to go to the IELTS homepage. Notice that there is a little breadcrumb, a pathway at the top just below the menu bar, and you can just click on that sample test questions to go directly to the main page again. So you can get back in just one click. So now we want to look at the general training material. Let's just click in the middle picture here and have a look at the general training sample test questions. Once again, you can see it's a very similar format. Just scroll down, you'll see the title IELTS General Training Paper Sample Tests. And once again, notice that there are tabs. When you hover your mouse over the tab, it goes red. You can click on the tab and access the sample tests. Again, here we've got the first tab is listening, so you can see the hypertext in blue with the downloadable information. We are looking at the listening examples now. Note that listening for general training and academic will be the same. And once again, you can scroll down again and you can get the sample questions in the computer format as well. And they've got all of the hypertext downloadables again there. Once again, let's just go back to the main page. So just click on that little breadcrumb pathway for sample test questions to go directly back to the main page, and we'll have a look at the life skills sample question. So the life skills is the last photograph on the right there. Let's just click on that one. Once again, scroll down just to below the fold and you'll see that you can download some example questions for the A1 test, the B1 test, and even the A2 test as well. Okay, so that's how to get hold of free, authentic test materials for your IELTS practice. Now, these materials come from the IELTS.org site, so I would say that you're pretty safe downloading them. You don't need to worry about any viruses or any kind of nefarious material that you might download by mistake. It's the official IELTS test here, so I think you're safe. Okay, that's how to do it. Let's go back to myself now for the closing. And there you have it. I hope that this is clear for you and you now know how to get all of the free sample test material available to you. As I said in the video, it is from IELTS.org, so I think you're probably safe downloading any material from this website. You obviously do your own checks to make sure on this matter. If you liked this video and you're not subscribed, please make sure that you do subscribe to IELTS Breakthrough, the YouTube channel where you can get lots of help for your IELTS score, increase your IELTS score so that you can become an international student or improve in your career. And if you want to know more about how to prepare for the IELTS test, why not watch this video, which is all about the different practice levels involved in IELTS. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, week, afternoon, evening. I'll see you in the next video.